Take it away.
Yeah. So let me see. Okay, so this is just a review. The first four slide. So what is a labor organization? So actually, it's a legal organization. It must be registered, meaning duly registered with the DOL. Okay, and the purpose, there are two. Uh, the reason for the existence of the labor organization. One is the collective bargaining, and the second one is dealing with employers regarding the terms and condition of the employment relationship. So how is the labor organization registered? So simple, you just have to get 20% and submit the necessary document. The minutes, if you have the financial report, then you are already registered as a union. Now, there's always difficulty of organizing a union, though it's a constitutional right. Organizing a labor union is really a challenge, and it takes time because the opposition will not just come from management; it also comes from the workers themselves, meaning they have a very negative view of the labor union, a result of uh, you know black propaganda and maybe a misconception about the union or unionism. Okay, so that's also part of educating the ordinary workers. And I came across a material that in the K to 12, I think it's included na the importance. It's part of the human rights education, the importance of labor union or workers organization. So those who are teaching in the senior high, you can actually look at the materials and maybe start educating the students on the importance of forming an organization, especially a labor organization. So here you have the rights of the labor organization to act as a representative of its member for the purpose of collective bargaining, to be certified as an exclusive representative for the purposes of collective bargaining. Okay, meaning to represent, to be furnished by the employers with its annual audited financial statement, including balance sheet and the profit and loss statement. So you are entitled, but this must be requested in writing. There's already a jurisprudence. If it's not requested in writing, it's could be considered as what the union did not ask for it. So may technicality to how it is actually worded in the labor code. So you really have to request that. Okay. To own property, real personal, for the use and benefit of the labor organization, its member, to sue and be sued in its registered name, to undertake all other activities designed to benefit the organization and its member, including cooperative, housing, welfare, and other projects not contrary to law. Okay, so that's the rights of labor organization. Now, another important, I would say, concept that labor union should not forget and should hold on to this is the union representation. Do workers want to be in their own, or do they want to join together in a union to seek better terms, condition, and employment? Now, if we allow a laissez-faire approach in the workplace, kanya-kanyang lapit, kanya-kanyang tawaran sa benepisyo, then you have a problem of arbitrariness, discrimination of treatment. Yung malapit sa boss, mas malaki ang bonus. Yung assertive, posibleng i-assign sa hindi magandang assignment. So, that's the problem kung kanya-kanya. But if you form an organization, you form a union, then actually everyone works together for a better deal. Okay, so that's the reason we need to have a union. So the union, we can be represented as a group. Okay, now how do we get that representation? Through the certification of election, because union can only negotiate if you are considered as representative of the bargaining unit, meaning the group of employees, okay, the group of employees who choose that organization, that union, to represent them in a collective negotiation. So it's possible that in the workplace or in a company you have several unions, and they make represent the same CBU. So in order to determine which one could represent the group of employees, then there should be a democratic process. And the democratic process is through an election. And this is actually might say, under the the overseen by the Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor Relations. So just to ensure na the workers have freely chosen who should be their representative. Okay. The termination of an exclusive bargaining shall be through voluntary recognition. So it could be voluntary recognition. Nag-decide na lang na, since kayo naman. So, or it could be through certification election. So there must be an election to be conducted by by Dole, and or a runoff election in case there are several unions involved. But what is really important is it must be the representation must be acquired through a democratic process. Hindi pwedeng impose ng management. Hindi just one group would say kami na. Hindi yan mafia, or hindi yan sindikato, or hindi yan grupo na just can claim na sila ang magre-represent. There is a process, and the process should be democratic. Okay. So that's the reason we call the union a political organization, because the union must get the support of the majority of the part of the group that they represent. If we lose the majority, then we lose the very foundation, the very source of our power in the workplace if we lose the majority. So we have to maintain that. So bargaining units. The bargaining units refer to a group of employees sharing mutual interests within a given employer unit, comprised of all or less than all the entire body of employees in the employer unit, or any specific occupational geographic grouping within such employer unit. Actually, this can be this can also serve. It could, the union can take advantage of this, provision, but it could also undermine the strength of the union. So it's important that you have to consider how you plan to, you have to be able to identify which group or the group that you represent, the bargaining unit that you are representing. And during negotiation, this is actually part of an item to be negotiated, because if we are not vigilant, it could actually diminish the strength of the union. Babawasan yung bargaining unit, ililimit, tatanggalin ang ilang unit sa bargaining unit. Like they would say confidential employees, or kaya they would say na itong department na to, college lang, wala high school, hindi ninyo dapat i-represent. Some would say naman na or kaya ang medical unit, hindi dapat ninyo i-represent yung mga medical schools. Okay, i-represent lang ninyo ito yung mga non-medical. So now, the strength of the union comes from numbers. Kung mas marami tayo, mas malakas tayo, right? Baka may tanggalin natin ang confidential employees. So ito yung mga nasa computer, mga computer yung nagma-manage ng MIS o may technical part. So that can be so we have to be vigilant. We have to be also really study the bargaining unit, because this is the source of our strength. Not only in terms of strength, it also the source of our economic resources. Kung you have a smaller unit, you have a bigger union dues. Kung bigger ang union dues, siyempre, the pressure it may it can also but if you have a more bargaining units, more members, so ang union dues could be more to run a union would be fairly shared by all. Okay. So, and not only that, there is also a challenge that those who are not in the bargaining unit the management can offer them a better benefits. So after negotiating, tapos may natanggal na unit, management can use an approach na wala na ito. Bibigyan namin tong isang unit ng maybe an additional bonus or something. And sad to say, may jurisprudence yan. There is already a jurisprudence. Now, if it's not in the bargaining units, it's not considered a ULP. If management provide them benefits. Because why? Because the CBA is quite clear. Hindi man ninyo negotiate. Okay, so we have to be, we just have to be vigilant and really, use our, really study the concern that may affect the bargaining units. Okay. Now, collective bargaining agreement, or CBA, refers to the contract between a legitimate labor union and employer concerning wages, hours of work, and all other terms and conditions of employment in the bargaining unit. Okay. So, what is a collective bargaining? Okay, collective is the relationship between employer and employees. And when we speak of collective, it's really involved the two parties. So, in a negotiation, you have the two parties because we belong to a company. Okay, we belong to so it must be viewed, ideally it should be viewed as partnership. The company cannot exist without the workers, and the company cannot operate without the employer. So that's the reason why it's collective. And employers and employees are equal. Equal. Collective bargaining is a process by which the representative of the organization meet and attempt to work out a contract with the employee's representative, the union. So collective bargaining occurs when representative of a labor union meet with the management representative to determine employees' wages, benefit, to create or revise rules, and to resolve dispute or violation of the labor contract. So it's a peaceful way of settling conflict if we have any conflict or irritants caused by certain practices in the workplace or management decision. That's the opportunity to address those concerns. Bargaining is the process of debating, discussing, and threatening in order to bring about favorable agreement of those represented. This is the time where where labor and management can really be open, and really, hagol ta. And yun nga, but remember, we have to focus only on issues dahil at the end of the negotiation, you're still going to deal with the same people, meaning management will deal with union, with the rank and file and the officers of the union, while union would also have to deal with management. And so these are the same people. Unless management can hire lawyers na harap sa atin. And we had experienced that kind of negotiation. Ang chief negotiator nila is dating lawyer ng Pepsi Company. Lawyer pala ng Pepsi Company, and siya ang humaharap sa amin, outsider, and it was really a very difficult negotiation kasi tagalabas eh. Okay. The interests of the employees are commonly presented by representative of the trade union to which the employees belong. Okay. So this means collective bargaining is a process of negotiation between employers and group employees aimed of reaching agreement to regulate working condition. Okay. So the stages of collective bargaining agreement. One is identification stage, the negotiation stage, and the stage of contract administration. So collective bargaining agreement does not end when one signs the CBA. We have to consider the administration of the implementation of the collective bargaining agreement, and the union is expected to ensure that management would comply what is actually written in what was agreed or what is actually found in the contract. So this is really the task of the union. Tig-remind, tig-check, tig-monitor. Na-release na po ba yung aming bonus? O kailan i-release ang among adjustment? O na-compute na ba to? Profit sharing, kailan tayo uli mag-meet? O meron bang nag-meet na ba ang mga committee? So dapat may checklist yan. or nakasulat sa CBA, each year the MAD administration will furnish us a copy of this document. Now, as I've said, there's already just jurisprudence, even if it's actually stated that management should provide the information, the union must make a written request. Okay. So you have to, that's the reason union should be vigilant. Union officers should be vigilant in in the implementation of the CBA. There is a danger na after signing, somehow we suffer from fatigue ba? Napagod na, so pahinga. So then yun, then only to realize, then that may create unnecessary tension or misunderstanding. So the stage of contract administration is also part of the collective bargaining agreement. Okay. So let's see. So okay, before I proceed with this part, question, clarification. I think you know the first part because these are just you are all been negotiating and you have been I think existing as a union for several years now, or maybe 2 or 3 years. So I think you know the reason why you exist. Okay. So preparing for the collective bargaining negotiation. Form
Hello,
and
Sir V.
train. Yes, 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 yes.
I have a question. This
Yeah.
is based on our experience in University of San Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
We agreed to the suggestion of the management during the initial stage of our negotiations that we're not going to use the social media to kind of air out our
Okay. So part of your
grievances.
ground rules yan. Part of your
Part of
ground
our
rules.
ground rules is
Okay, we will discuss that. We will discuss that.
okay.
Okay. Okay, we'll discuss that.
Thank you.
So let's consider first the preparation for the collective bargaining negotiation. Meaning before you meet the administration panel, what do you need to prepare? One is form and train the negotiating team on its duties. So it's important that you have to identify, and I think it's only fair to say that the officer should be. And if you have a newly elected officers, like what happened to us in Siliman, we just had an election, but they will assume their responsibility in June pa, because that's the end of the term of the outgoing officers. Now, but the CBA negotiation will start in May. So what we agreed is that yung mga bagong officer should already part of the panel, while the outgoing officer should also be in the panel, because the rules namin is we agree the officer should be in the panel unless they have health reason that they could not. So, but it would depend on the size of your officers. Kung 100 ang inyong officers, maybe that would be a challenge how you can actually. But the point is that the reason why we believe that the officer should be involved in the negotiation, even in the drafting and the preparation, is because the officers and the board will also be responsible in the implementation of what has been agreed. So, mas mabuti yung naroon na para at least alam ang background ng mga pinag-usapan, alam yung mga nuances, alam yung mga interpretation, para hindi mahirap i-implement. So train. So that's the reason we have actually, ang sabi nga, after you sign the contract implementation can also be, you can also include part of the contract implementation is a way of preparing for the next round of CBA negotiation. I remember telling my co-officers na after we sign the CBA and we're implementing it, that's the time that we prepare for the next round of we prepare for this next CBA. And remember, ang cycle of the CBA negotiation is for the economic provision. Actually, it's not limited to the economic provision. Para meron cycle ng 3 years, then 2 years. Yung lifespan of the CBA is 5 years. That's the entire CBA. But you can renegotiate after 3 years. What is protected within the 5 years period is the representation. Meaning, within the 5 years that you have a CBA and your CBA is registered sa DOL, the union is protected from being challenged. So it's really, and the reason why oftentimes this is not yung registration or hindi masyadong napapansin. Well, rare man na merong mo challenge. Rare ba? It's that there would be someone would challenge the union during the lifespan of a CBA. Pero if you're not registered, your CBA is not registered, you could be challenged. Pwedeng i-raid ang inyong union. But not the election, meaning the union could be questioned. Meaning, and that could be, pwedeng i-underground din kayo ng management, can hire a third party, then yung isang third party, magpakalat sila para mag-organize ng ibang union, then i-challenge ang existing union. And that really create a problem. So it's important that form and train the negotiating team. It's important that you have to train seminars, education, get expert advice, not just lawyers, because negotiation is not just legal. Yeah, it requires legal knowledge, but it also requires other things, psychology, mga strategy and tactics and planning. So get expert, okay, or send some of your personnel to attend seminars, okay. Then, of course, review experience during the life of the last CBA. Your experience in the previous CBA, especially if you were already, it can be a source of information. You could review what's the difficulty, ano yung mga naging problema, ano yung mga issue na you feel na were not acceptable, but somehow maybe management was open, maybe not yet open, but maybe now they're open. So it's important to review experience during the life of the last CBA. Review previous negotiation. Take the unit composition into account, meaning what are you representing? And this is a challenge when you are representing different units, because different units may have different or unique working condition. It's important that you have to take that into account. So for example, in Silliman, we have in our union, we have the non-teaching academic personnel, guidance counselor, and librarians. We also have the high school, the SBE. So how do we deal with that? So we have to consider benefits that would benefit everybody. So yung across the board increase, pwede. But what about the uniqueness of their working conditions? So these are the things that we have to consider. Okay. Prepare a wage and benefit analysis. Meaning, wage accountant and management people in the business, College of Business Administration, we ask them to provide certain way of providing an analysis ba, yung rata, rise, so they have certain way of analyzing if ina-factor in ang inflation rate. That would also help the panel to understand some of the language, some of the terms in business, in economics, because management will, when you encounter management, they will be using some of those terms, mga accountant. It's important that we are already familiar, and we build, and our practice in Silliman is that we always have accountant in the panel, our accountant. We always have duha and then we also have mathematician. So that we at least, because I'm a theologian, Jonathan is a computer professor, so we may not have the expertise. So we'll ask the help of our members who have the expertise. Okay. Then develop objective and proposal. What is the objective for this negotiation? What's the objective? Anong objective? Meaning, what are the items that you want to improve? We cannot improve everything. We cannot, and it's impossible to get all the things that we want. So we have to identify what's our goal. Do we want to improve the retirement? Yes, we need to increase our salaries. Yes, but what other benefits? Siguro we can. So you have to be clear with the objectives. And the overall, the strategic objective is really to get improvement of the benefits and the working condition. When I say working condition, maybe you have to look on the number of students, the class size, maybe less, maybe expenses in terms yung nagagastusan ng teacher dahil merong mga binibiling materials para sa classroom, maybe that can be factor in. Dapat hindi maybe merong class, merong paper allowance, or maybe merong let's say now sa social media, because of the now we learn karong because of the pandemic, we were forced to use we were forced to go online, and many of us did not include this in the CBA. So we could not ask for, some could not even ask for a token man lang, token budget for load ba from work from home. You still have to but if it's now, this is a learning, this is an experience, a pandemic. Maybe in the future, in the next negotiation, we will include this na dapat merong allowance. Then not only that, we are using our electricity. Maybe they should give us also an allowance for the consumption of electricity sa balay. So these are things that we can consider. But the point here is that what is our objective? Okay, and please, negotiation and the objective of the negotiation should always include strengthening the union. Negotiation should always strengthen the union, and always consider that then whatever you attain or whatever you gain in the negotiation, you are building, you will use that for the next round of negotiation. Okay, for the next round of negotiation. Okay, so these are the steps in preparing for collective bargaining negotiation. So what do you mean by identification stage? This phase involved composition of a negotiation team. The first thing to be done is to determine whether there are actually any reason to negotiate at all. And actually the answer is yes, we have a reason to negotiate. One, we need to improve our pay and salaries and benefit. Lumalaki, tumataas ang bilihin, inflation. Dapat ma-improve din ng atin. So, yan. A correct understanding of the main issues to be covered and intimate knowledge of operation of working condition, production norms, and other relevant condition is required. So, identification. It's really funny. In the last negotiation, we learned that we have colleagues na walay faculty room. Just imagine. So they have no place where they could actually prepare. So we realized na issue pala to ng one unit, a specific unit. So we have to include that in our negotiation. So sometimes we just learn na may certain needs, certain things na nakakalimutan ba on it. So it's important that we really be the right is immerse with our members, especially where they are actually working. We know the status condition of their the working condition, because so that at least we know and we can find ways on how we can formulate the proposal. Okay. So the union should collect facts about the financial position of the company and its ability to pay. And management is required by law to provide audited financial statement, including the balance sheet and the profit and loss statement. You can find that in Article 242. Okay. It must also be aware of the various practices followed by other companies in the same region or industry, so that it takes a more realistic approach on various issues of bargaining. So you look at other schools or yung accrediting, for example, yung sa accreditation, you find, for example, if you have one school na it reached this level of accreditation sa PASCO or sa accrediting body, then that you can use that also taas pa lang accreditation ng school natin. Yung isang school sa Manila, mataas din. Kami sa probinsya, pero we have acquired the same level of accreditation. So bakit ganun ang treatment? Bakit ganun ang treatment nila sa empleyado, sa mga teacher? Okay. So we use that is comparing, we argue on the basis of industry standard. What is the standard in the higher education? What's the standard in the in private school? So we have to look at the standard, industry standard. We call it industry standard. The union must assess the attitude and expectation of the employees over various issues so that the negotiation outcome do not face resistance from them. So this is a responsibility of the panel. Be sure that what we are bringing, what we are negotiating is, acceptable to the members. It's really sad when the panel negotiate and the member reject what the union tried or has negotiated. So now this is the reason I said that the union is a political organization, and one way to ensure na we maintain we get the support and we maintain the support from our members is through transparency and constant communication. We need to communicate to our member, updates them on what's happening, issues, and yun. Then the reason why it's important to educate the members also na the nature of the negotiation. Remember, it's tawaran. Okay, tawaran. So hangyo ano ba? Meron yang bargaining. So even if you say na we're proposing 10,000 across the board increase, I mean you have to tell your members na ano lang yan, simula pa lang yan. So siyempre tatawad ang management, bababa tayo so that you don't generate too much. There's a danger if you generate too much, then but the key there is constant regular communication with your members, transparency. And this is important because it's a political organization, and we have to maintain. We have to get the support and maintain that support from our members. Okay. We must also assess the likely stand that the management may take over various issues so that the union can adopt suitable steps for more acceptable outcome. I don't know, there must be a way that we could sense before the negotiation, meron na tayong some level of awareness na ano ba yung acceptable kaya sa management, ano kayang issue ang gusto nila, ano kaya yung posibleng maging prioritize nila, ha? So in other words, we need to have some intelligence gathering, ha? Na pakinaragam, pinupulsahan ang sentimiento ng management. Ano kaya ang kanilang bibigyan ng priority ngayon? Retirement ba? Bonus ba? Or ano? And this requires certain finesse on the part of the union. You can get the information directly, or you can get it indirectly. Baka sa secretary, baka sa chismis is a very important source of information gathering just to get the sentiment of management. It's better to start that before na nag-negotiate, ha? Kasi pag nag-negotiate na, marami ng mga false, mga tawag doon, fake news or mga trial balloons or mga misinformation, disinformation na ipalalabas, and that can also affect our decision making. So but that's the reason kung merong pang time, earlier pa, pinupulsuhan na. Ano kayang priority? Ano kayang gusto rin ng management? Meaning, ano kayang gusto rin ng mga chair? Ano kayang gusto ng mga dean? Ano kayang gusto ng mga meaning, because eventually they would also be benefited, they will also benefit from the outcome of the negotiation. Then distinguish between company-wide policy and job-specific, meaning should we include this in the CBA or should we leave that in the company policy? Again, because if you include all the policy in the company, baka ang CBA, the pages is kasing kapal ng personal manual. Okay. So issues in the collective bargaining, so wage-related issues, supplementary economic benefits, institutional issues. Okay, these consist of rights and duties of employers, employees, and unions, including union security. Okay, check-ups and the quality of work-life program. Then administrative issues. This includes issues such as seniority, employee discipline, discharge procedure, meaning termination, employees' health and safety, technological changes, because technological changes can affect the working condition. can lead to dismissal of some, reduction of work or load, and can affect our income. Okay, work rules, job security, and of course training. Okay, so this can also be part of the collective bargaining. Mhm. Okay, so terms of the CBA representation aspect: 5 years. Okay, no petition question shall be entertained by DOL. The first 3 years, economic and non-economic issues. Sa fifth 5 years, economic issues main focus, but non-economic could also be included. It would depend on how you worded your CBA. Yeah? Kung nakasulat sa CBA ninyo na yung fourth or fifth years economic issue lang, then you, because of how it's worded in your CBA, then you have to focus on the economic issues. But if it's worded in your CBA na ang fourth year, fifth year, you can tackle almost anything except the representation question, like what we have in Siliman. We can also open negotiation, not limited to economic issues. Okay. So what are the economic issues? Salary increases, allowances, leaves, medical, hospitalization. Okay, so I think you know this. Non-economic, political, union recognition. Okay, union security, management prerogative, probationary period, check-off, agency fee, and other special assessment. These are the deduction. Yung check-off is for members, union dues. Agency fee are those who are non-union, but members of the collective bargaining unit. A special assessment is labor education. We are allowed by law to assess the members of the CBU for labor ed. Okay, and this is a requirement that union should conduct regular labor education, and we are required to submit report of the labor education conducted by the union. Then you have grievance procedure. Okay, then labor management relation. So different committees. It depends on how many committees you have. And if you ask me, having different committees is also a way of training unions in negotiation. Then it also a way of getting information before the next round of negotiation. So you can have a committee on tuition fee increase. You can have a joint committee on retirement. You can have or if it's not a joint committee, at least union representative in the promotion board, or any other committee where it affects the working condition of the rank of the teachers or the academic personnel or the CBU that you represent. Okay. Ang importante doon is makarinig kayo. Makakuha kayo ng information. You can get information from those committee participation. Okay. Now, this is a certain rules that one should observe. Never propose an item that is contrary or below what the laws provide as minimum standard or flooring. So please, or else may ULPita and it's not binding. Okay. So that's the rule. That's the reason it's important that we should be familiar with many of the existing, especially new rules. And this is problems academic institution because the Department of, there are two other agencies na nagsusupervise school. That's DepEd. We can say three. You have TESDA and you also have CHED. And they issue CMO left and right na, and it affect our working condition. Just to give you an example, dati ang ratio ng part-time full-time is actually mas marami dapat ang full-time kaysa part-time. Now ginawa nilang 50-50 na. And that may have a implication in the long run pag mas marami ang part-time. Another thing is they can change in the manual of regulation, they can change the class size. So if we are not aware of the changes in the in the issued by this regulatory agency, we might be proposing something na below the minimum standard. Okay. Now, the second one is one can propose to adopt company policy and or government regulation that are beneficial to the employees and union. So related to that, it's important that you have to study the existing CMO manual regulation. Now, if it's a minimum standard, you can, as long as it's beneficial, especially if you think that management is difficult to ano, you can include that. The reason why sometimes it's advisable na include that is especially ang experience natin, my observation with CHED, and if you compare the manual of regulation issued mga I think in 2000 and the manual of regulation yung pinaka-latest, there are a lot of things na naiba na. Parang they changed the minimum standard and it's disadvantageous sa teacher. Oo. Now, kung yan ay naipasok sa CBA, hindi nila pwedeng baguhin. Meaning, kung ma-change ang batas, kasi it's possible na yung batas, pwedeng ibaba nila ang standard. So that becomes the standard. That becomes the minimum standard. So from a higher standard, binaba ng batas. Now, but if it's in the CBA, nung binaba ang batas, then it's in the CBA. Because it's already in the CBA, it's going to be very difficult to it's very, very difficult that management can just cite the change in the government policy, because what we have in the CBA it's a higher standard. Remember, negotiation should be an improvement of the minimum. Okay, so CBA must be better than the minimum, better than the minimum standard. Okay, meaning it can start from the minimum, but the proposal, the items that you find in the CBA should be better than the minimum standard. Our challenge now, especially in school, those working in the school or in the educational institution, ang CHED at ang DepEd keep changing the standard, lowering it, introducing new curriculum, lowering the standard. Gi-revise nila yung old, ni-reduce nila, then management can just invoke it, and somehow that creates a problem. So it's a way of looking at those existing studying the existing rules, regulation that we find issued by different regulatory agency. Okay, proposal should be for maximum improvement. Strictly observe confidentiality and discretion during preparation, please. Yeah, we should be open to our members, but we should also be, we should observe certain confidentiality. Kasi it's like a card game to a certain extent. Yung game plan ba, mga should be confidential, and discretion. Tayo na nakakaalam na tayo kung how we would observe this rule. Okay. Then after you have done the proposal, then after you have done the preparation, then it's time to write the proposal. Keep it simple. Okay. Be sure it's relevant. Pay heed to necessary legalities. Observe contract language, statutory construction. Because when you submit the proposal, how it is written and how it is interpreted is binding to the parties. So, and it's always the union ang magsasubmit ng proposal. That's the reason it's important, make it simple. Para hindi mahirap, hindi ninyo kailangan ng lawyer para i-interpret yun. At hindi rin natin kailangan ng judge para sabihin which interpretation from the two lawyers na nag-aaway ang tama. Because it's just a simple, the construction of the contract language is simple. And the rules is that it's better for the union to prepare the proposal. It's always the union should prepare the proposal. And you ask the help of the lawyer. Mahirap na pag ang lawyer ang nag-prepare ng proposal. So, you can help the lawyers, but the lawyer is there just to ensure na the contract language is maayos-ayos pa. Okay. So, that's the preparatory stage. Now, negotiation stage. Submission of union proposal and request for meeting, the first step. The second step is bargaining, and the third step is settlement, the signing. Okay, four basic guidelines in the process of negotiation. Personalities must be separate from the problem. Okay. The reason why personalities is, sometimes meron tayong encounter na sa ating, mga superior natin. We have to find ways na our baggages should not determine how we will deal with the other party. Okay. Then these are just guidelines from the book of Fisher and Yuri, Getting to Yes, negotiating agreement without giving in. Okay, this is the suggestion, basic guidelines. Okay. Now, submission of proposal. The union submit a notice to negotiate together with its proposal to the company. Okay. The company answered the notice to negotiate within 10 days, 10 calendar days after receipt of said notice. Then, of course, schedule a meeting. Okay, you can include that in the letter. When they respond after 10 days, then immediately schedule a meeting. Now, no response or no counter proposal, union can ask for NCMB help preventive mediation. Meaning the NCMB will call the party to mediate. This is not a hearing, this is not an arbitration, but calling the parties para mag-usap. Pero kung talagang matigas ang ulo ng management, the union has the right to file a notice of strike. Anong ground? Unfair labor practice. And these are some of, no reply is negotiating in bad faith. So these are some of the decided case. General Milling Corporation. Okay. The procedure in collective bargaining prescribed by the Labor Code, Article 250, is mandatory because of the basic interest of the state in ensuring lasting interest. It underscores the fact that other party upon whom the proposal was served shall make a reply thereto not later than 10 calendar days from receipt of such notice. So failure is considered as bad faith, indicative of its bad faith and utter lack of interest in the bargaining with the union. Okay. Failure to make timely reply. Okay, this is the school-based. Colegio de San Juan de Letran versus Association of Employees and Faculty of Letran. Okay, guilty. The school refusal to make a counter proposal to the union proposive is an indication of bad faith. Its actuation shows lack of sincere desire to negotiate, rendering it guilty of unfair labor practice. Okay. So now, so there are already jurisprudence. Wag kayong matakot pag dinidelay. We have the legal power to compel them. Same holding was made with Kyokloy versus NLRC. Okay. Company refusal to make any counter proposal to the union proposed was declared as an indication of bad faith. The employer did not even bother to submit an answer to the bargaining proposal of the union. There is a clear evasion of the duty to bargain collectively. So these are example of decided cases.